While it is hard to imagine computers before the 19th century, thanks to weaver and merchant Joseph Marie Jacquard, the punch card loom was invented, and that technology would later be used in early IBM computers. The 18th century brought radios, motion pictures, and also the grassroots for distant education and online colleges. Caleb Phillips began advertising private correspondence courses in the Boston Gazette in 1728. The University of London became the first university in the world to offer full degrees through distant learning with external program in 1858. Distance learning in America began in 1873 when Anna Elliott Tickner established the country's first mail-based correspondence course program called the Society to encourage studies at home. The University of Chicago is the first traditional American educational institution to offer correspondence courses, and the term distant education is the first used by the University of Wisconsin-Madison in a pamphlet. Most of the technological advancement that occurred during this era was related to the two world wars. A computer was one who computes or makes computations. In the U.S., most technological funding was directly related to military spending. The U.S. was focused on outperforming the USSR, particularly after Sputnik. Post-war advancement positioned the U.S. as a technological leader. Radios made their way into the home of every American, and it wasn't long until correspondence courses emerged initially via radio, and by the end of this period, television correspondence courses had been introduced. During this period, the internet was in its infancy. The early technology created in these years has long since been replaced. Technology began advancing at a lightning pace during this time. It was then the first vision of a worldwide computer network developed, and the first virtual campus was created. Computers are now becoming more popular during this era due to the introduction of IBM's personal computer, which is meant to be more affordable to the general population instead of the more expensive alternative of Apple. As technology advances, Columbia College makes steps to become truly co-ed and now not only offers professional and doctoral degrees to women, but they are now able to be admitted as undergraduates with men. They are the last Ivy League school to make this step. The Electronic University Network was created in an attempt to make online education available. However, there were many more accessories, and particularly modems and computers, that were compatible with this platform. Nova Southeastern University takes things a step further and offers an accredited online graduate program. At this time, the World Wide Web was not yet invented and access was still limited. In 1989, the World Wide Web was invented, and Phoenix University became the first of its sorts to offer what they refer to as the online campus, which offers bachelor's and master's degree programs. Entering into the new era, the Americans with Disabilities Act became a law which makes education more accessible to those with disabilities as well. Linux is created, which is an operating system still used to this day. The Gore Bill is then passed, which provides $600 million towards the advancement of the internet and technology. Constructivism is then introduced, giving a new idea on teaching and learning, which suggests that learning is more active than simply listening. The schools of social work then received additional funding to address key issues such as domestic violence, child welfare, mental health, and aging. The major electronic companies then agreed that Wi-Fi should be offered worldwide, which will provide further access to the internet. Blackboard launches, which is a common virtual learning platform used in our classes today. The Journal of Asynchronous Learning Network is then launched, which shows growth in online education. The Google search engine developed, which changes how people find information. The 2000s and beyond was really plagued by an increased development of technology, scrutiny over for-profit schools, and delivery and accessibility of course content. The advancement of the internet was cornerstone in the early 2000s. This advancement provided an opportunity for online courses to include pictures, sound, and video. Moodle was invented in 2002, for-profit schools expanded, podcasts was invented in 2004, and YouTube was invented in 2005. Concerns during the second wave, the growth of for-profit schools, ITT Technical College and ITT Tech went bankrupt and closed in 2016. A notable invention, VoiceThread, was invented in 2005. Also, blogs, wikis, podcasting, and YouTube arrived on the scene, and faculty used these tools. Schools hyped up their online and blending programs, and massive open online course was created. This offering was based on student need for access to higher education and cost effectiveness, but offered no credit for courses completed early on. United States Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, for-profit higher education, published the failure to safeguard the federal investment and ensure student success. This brought attention to for-profit schools and laid the groundwork for the ensuing investigations, and finally one school, University of Phoenix, settling out of court with the Federal Trade Commission after a 5-year investigation over deceptive advertising. By the end of 2013, massive open online courses were less popular, and in 2013, San Jose State University did an experience with basic online courses being offered and found completion rates and grades for students taking those courses were less desirable than those taking face-to-face courses. 2014 and beyond was impacted by increased online student and faculty interaction and increased integration of technologies and pedagogical approaches. iPhones, tablets, laptops all allowed more access and participation. Pedagogy continued to drive technology use, and online learning is now beyond a trend, more mainstream, and required due to the pandemic. Now this is about quality.